Ilara was beautiful. A cascade of dark hair framed her pale face. Her eyes, wide and searching, held a hint of sorrow. She clutched a single worn leather suitcase. She was going somewhere, or perhaps running from something. The destination was unclear. The need to leave was overwhelming. Tonight, any train would do, any direction as long as it was away. She hoped for peace. She prayed for a new beginning, a place where shadows didn't follow. The station was a forgotten relic. Dust lay thick on everything. Cobwebs draped the rusted signs like ancient shrouds. Only one dim bulb flickered above the platform. It cast long dancing shadows. They seemed to writhe and twist. The air was heavy, cold. It smelled of damp earth and something else, something old and decaying. Ilara shivered, not just from the night air. A deeper chill settled in her bones. She felt utterly alone, terribly exposed. Then a sound, a distant rumble, growing louder. A mournful whistle cut through the silence. The train approached. Slowly. It was an ancient machine, blackened steel, groaning and sighing with every turn of its wheels. Steam billowed around it like a ghostly breath. Its windows were dark, like empty eyes staring into the night. It did not look like a vessel of escape. It looked like a cage on wheels, a relic from a forgotten, more sorrowful time. Ilara hesitated just for a moment, but the silence behind her was more terrifying. The unknown ahead, less so. She stepped forward. The carriage door creaked open as if beckoning her. She climbed aboard. The interior was plush but faded. Velvet seats worn thin. The air inside was stale, thick with unspoken stories. She found an empty compartment. The door slid shut with a heavy thud, a sound of finality. The journey had begun. The train lurched forward, a metallic scream, then the rhythmic clatter, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. It was a hypnotic sound, almost soothing, but the carriage lights flickered erratically, plunging her into darkness. Then back to dim yellow light. Shadows danced in the corners of her eyes. Whispers seemed to ride the wind outside, too faint to understand, too persistent to ignore. Each gust of wind against the windows sounded like a sigh, a mournful, lonely sigh. A profound coldness seeped into the compartment. Not the chill of the night, this was different. It was a cold that touched her soul. It settled deep within her. She pulled her thin coat tighter. It offered little comfort. The cold was inside now. She rubbed her arms, trying to bring warmth, trying to fight the creeping dread. The velvet seat beneath her felt icy, as if no living person had sat there for an eternity. She felt a presence, unseen, unheard, but undeniably there. She glanced at her reflection in the window. The darkness outside made it a perfect mirror. Her face stared back, pale, frightened. But there was something else. Her image looked thinner, less substantial, as if she were a watercolor painting left in the rain. She blinked, rubbed her eyes, looked again. It was still there. A subtle transparency, a fading. She told herself it was the poor light, the old glass, a trick of the eye. But the fear was a cold knot in her stomach. Suddenly, a patch of intense cold drifted past her, like an invisible being brushing by. Her breath hitched. She could feel the hairs on her arms stand on end. It was not a draft. The windows were sealed shut. This was something else, something unnatural. The feeling of being watched intensified, not by human eyes, but by something ancient, something that dwelled in the shadows of the train, something that knew her name, knew her fear. Ilara reached for the armrest to steady herself. Her hand felt strange, numb. She looked down. Her fingers, they seemed blurry. She tried to grip the worn velvet. Her hand passed through it, just slightly, for a fraction of a second. A gasp escaped her lips. No, it couldn't be. She tried again, squeezing her eyes shut, then opening them. Her fingers, they were becoming translucent, like smoke, like a memory. Panic flared. Hot and sharp, she scrambled to her feet. Her legs felt weak, unsteady. She reached out to touch the window, to feel the cold glass. Her palm met the surface, but the sensation was muted, distant. as if she were touching it through a thick veil, the world outside the train, the fleeting trees, the dark sky. It all seemed to be receding, becoming less real, or was she becoming less real to it? The thought was terrifying. She was untethered, drifting, her reflection. It was undeniable now. She was fading. Her dark hair was like wisps of shadow. Her features blurred. Her eyes were like dark pools in a shimmering outline. She could see the seat behind her, through her own form. A silent scream built in her chest, clawing at her throat. She was disappearing. Piece by piece, the beautiful girl was dissolving, becoming an echo, a whisper in the fabric of the train. Fear was a living thing inside her now, consuming her. She tried to scream, to call for help, to make any sound, but only a faint breath escaped her lips, a sound like rustling leaves, inaudible above the train's relentless rhythm. Her voice was gone, stolen, or perhaps it no longer belonged to the world of the living. She was trapped in this transformation, in this terrifying, silent journey. The train carried her onward, deeper into the night, deeper into the unknown, deeper into her own undoing. The change was almost complete. Ilara was a shimmering silhouette, a whisper of light and shadow. Her solid form, a memory. Her fear had subsided, replaced by a strange, cold calm, a resignation. The train continued its endless clatter, but she no longer felt its vibrations. She was part of its ghostly hum, an ethereal passenger on an ethereal journey. The carriage felt different now, less empty. She sensed others, like her, faint, shifting. The train did not slow for any town. No lights appeared in the distance. It rattled on through an endless night. Then the carriage door slid open, silently, not onto a platform, not onto solid ground. It opened to a vast starlit void, an endless expanse of shimmering nebulae and distant galaxies. It was beautiful and terrifying. Other figures in the carriage stirred, pale forms translucent. They turned towards her. Their faces held no malice, only a shared understanding, a quiet welcome. A conductor appeared. He too was spectral, his uniform immaculate, his smile gentle. He tipped his ethereal cap. "Welcome aboard, Ilara," he said. His voice was a soft echo. "You have been on this journey far longer than you realize." Confusion clouded her fading consciousness. Longer? How could that be? She remembered the station, the decision to leave, the cold platform, the fear. It felt so recent, so real. "This train," the conductor continued, his voice resonating in her very essence. "It doesn't travel to earthly destinations, my dear." He gestured to the starlit void. "It gathers those who are already on their way." A horrifying, dawning comprehension. She wasn't transforming a ghost on the train. The train, this journey, was simply revealing what she had already become, perhaps on that lonely road to the station, and perhaps even before. The Midnight Express was not an escape. It was an arrival, her final spectral arrival.